Hi neighbor, and welcome to Social Practices in the House of Wisdom. I am here today with David Gilmore of Gilmore Guitars, and he's going to let you know a little bit more about his company and his involvement in our community in the city of Red Deer. So David, thank you for being with me here on Social Practices and for the use of your amazing space.
Thank you so much for coming and asking. It's nice to be noticed.
Absolutely. So you've been in our community for quite a few years now. How did you come about being here?
Well, I came to Red Deer originally in radio. I started off on the air on a couple of radio stations, and through those radio stations I ended up doing sales. And then I got to 30 years in radio, and I thought I can't fathom a 31st. And I had been building guitars already as a hobby at that point. And I had always known from the very first guitar that I built that one day I was going to start Gilmore Guitars as a full-time business. So May 1st, 2011, I officially opened Gilmore Guitars as a full-time enterprise.
And how do you become a guitar builder? Like, what qualifies you to be making these?
Oh, patience.
Yeah.
I actually took a course, Timeless Instruments, in Tegaski, Saskatchewan. It's about a full semester, like a 15-week course, where you go and you build a guitar from scratch, start to finish. And that course was actually, at the time, a certificate course, so I became certified as a luthier. He, at this point, doesn't offer certificates anymore, but he still offers the Build Your Own Guitar course, as I do. I teach people how to build guitars here as well.
That's fantastic. Now, David has been in our community for how many years now?
Well, I moved to Red Deer initially in 1990. So, and Gilmore Guitars has been full-time since 2011.
2011. And so how is it that your business has been able to survive for so many years, and ups and downs, that kind of thing?
Lots of ups and downs.
Yeah.
Intestinal fortitude. It's like everything has a peak and valley, and every time you have that valley, you just have the intestinal fortitude to stay there and not quit. And we opened this business with no plan B, so failure was never an option.
Interesting. Now, you've been in our community for a while, so how has it been for you to be a community builder in a sense?
It's really rewarding, honestly. I work on a lot of guitars that are out there earning a living as tools for artists all throughout central Alberta and Western Canada. So that's very rewarding. A lot of the guitars that I've built belong to singers and songwriters. So the tools that I am building, the guitars, are actually being used as a tool to create art as well. So it's a really rewarding thing to watch somebody like, say, Mike Sabo sing a song on a guitar that I built, that he wrote on that guitar. It's quite a buzz, for sure.
Right. So leading into the art side of music, do you feel that through your guitars and through your business that you're able to support artists in the community?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's essential. Art is essential. Music is essential. And, I don't just build guitars. I fix and repair guitars as well. So I'm also able to maintain the tools that, these people in this particular trade need to do their job.
Music is very important. I mean, it's been part of our history for so many decades.
Well, I look at it as another language. You can communicate with just a single note on a guitar or a piano or a violin. You can communicate an emotion or a thought with just a single note, which is powerful.
Additionally, I think too that music is very soothing and part of our composure for mental health. Tell me about some of the programs that you've instigated throughout the years.
Don Routley and I started a charity called Guitars for Kids. So what we do is we take donations of used guitars, and me as the luthier, I make sure that these guitars are playable and clean. They've got fresh strings, and we give them to kids and families that can't afford guitars. We should call the program Guitars for People, but we call it Guitars for Kids, and kids in families that single parent homes where the economy is tough right now. We've given guitars to kids in programs where kids are in crisis, kids are in trouble, and we've heard stories after the fact that when we've given a guitar to a particular individual, how it has changed this individual's life, and that again is really rewarding.
Well, that's fantastic. What kind of stories do you get?
Just how some kid is in trouble, doing drugs or doing whatever, and then they have this other outlet where they can put their hands on something and get an immediate sort of communication with themselves with this instrument, right? So they're not looking for that other thing. It's just right here and it's right now, and you're not thinking about whatever else is going on.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of people have you had come through Gilmore Guitars?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody and everybody. Yeah, it's interesting. From people that can't afford to the top of the heap as far as income earners in the country. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So how are you able to balance your creative side, your work, and all of the different things that go into having a business in the city?
It can be a bit of a tightrope sometimes. Like as I mentioned earlier, there's peaks and valleys. So, I'm one of the lucky guys because I get to come to work and I get to work on guitars every day. Mm-hmm. It's interesting that my wife is somewhat disappointed because I don't go home and play my guitar anymore.
Oh.
Because I have a guitar in my hand all day long. So, and when I go on holidays, I don't bring a guitar with me. A lot of my friends, they'll bring their guitar on holidays so they can play. So when I go on a holiday, the guitars stay home because, this is my job. It's what I do. Mm-hmm. So I love it though. Like I really am one of the truly blessed people on the planet that I've got the support that I have from my wife to do what I do. I have a community of people that come and support me. I've got a community of people that help me run a charity. So it's the whole thing around Gilmore Guitars is really built on community. And I've worked really hard at making Gilmore Guitars a community and a safe place. Because I do get people that will come in, they'll walk down the hallway into the shop, and they'll say, my heart rate just slows down the minute I get here. Mm-hmm. Because it's, I try to make it a safe place and just a place where people can just, chill, relax.
Right. So music in the schools is taught to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. You can go to high school and you play an instrument for a little while. But there's a lot of people who don't have that opportunity to take music in school or to go into lessons and things like that.
It's interesting that you bring that up because here in Red Deer, there has been a rock band program put together in the schools that is extracurricular in some schools, but Dan Barton is the guy that's instigated this whole thing. And Guitars for Kids has been involved for the last couple of years in making sure that they have instruments to play and amplifiers to play through because not all of the kids can afford to go buy a guitar to be in rock band. So that's been really, really cool. So for the last couple of years, through at Central Middle School, they run the program there. They're now out in on the west side of town there as well, and they're working on getting the program part of the curriculum.
Perfect.
Which is really cool. Mm-hmm.
So I think of adults, like for myself, I've thought so many times of picking up a guitar and just teaching myself and just kind of finding a different way to defragment and just relax and
Yeah.
enjoy and just,
It's never too late.
you know, and so how would an adult go about strumming their first chords?
You just got to do it. I mean, you just got to pick up a guitar and do it.
Let's do it.
I mean, you just do it.
Right.
And the thing is if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Like, I'm not sure
But-
I'm even holding it right.
But so put this finger there, and put this finger down there, and strum a chord.
Okay.
You've got kind of a goofy G.
I have a goofy G and just go. This is a G. Nice.
Yeah. And it's just muscle memory. The more you do it, the easier it gets.
That's neat. And it feels nice to hold it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I build smaller bodied guitars because I'm a little guy. And I always wanted to build guitars that I wanted to play. So, this guitar fits it in my body. Here's your G. And the whole thing about playing the guitar is it's like learning anything. It's a repetitive motion. You got to just go back and keep doing it and doing it and doing it until you don't have to think about it.
That's beautiful. So, how do you fall in love with a guitar? Like, do you like how is it the sound? Is it the look of it? What is it that you're looking for?
Are you talking about picking out a guitar to
Yeah,
buy? Well, I tell people all the time that guitars are like puppies. They're going to pick you,
Oh.
right? So, and I don't think there's no scientific way. It's just like you'll pick up a guitar and you'll just go, and it'll speak to you, or you'll look at a guitar and you go, oh, I love the way that guitar looks. So there's no one criteria that will make you fall in love with a guitar, but when you find that guitar, you're going to know it.
Because I always think about how relaxing music is and how fulfilling it would be to play an instrument. Even if you're not playing your own music, you're still listening to something that you are creating in a sense.
Yeah.
Right? I was noticing a guitar behind you. I think it was making googly eyes at me earlier. Can you show me the potential of that guitar?
Well, this guitar I just built and just sold, actually.
Amazing.
And I built this guitar to push my skill level because it's a hand-carved arch top. So the inside of this top is arched as well as the outside. So the top and the back have an arch on
So
it.
it's got a little dome.
Yeah,
almost.
I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but there's an arch there and there, here and there. And I built this to push my skill level, to just bring my skill up to the next. And this guitar turned out really, really good. It sounds fantastic. And as a result, it sold within less than a week.
Amazing.
And as a result, I have my second arch top on the bench. I've started
Excellent.
it already. So it's just, I'm not a jazz guitar player, but these types of guitars are normally gypsy jazz or just straight up jazz guitar players. They play the big fancy chords, but I can't do those sorts of things. But it's got just a real unique and nice tone.
I don't know if I can get a copyright for that little tune, but just so you know, it wasn't intentional. But yeah, it's a beautiful guitar and all the colors.
We didn't play it long enough.
We didn't play it long enough. Did you get that? It was only 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, and no, it's beautiful. So it's got all these different markings on it.
So this particular piece of wood was harvested 35 years ago off of Haida Gwaii, which is the archipelago on BC's western coast where the Haida natives, it's their traditional grounds there. So it's a really special piece of wood. I left the knot in there, and then the back and the sides are actually black walnut harvested right here in central Alberta. So this is a really a Canadian guitar.
That's amazing. It's amazing. Well, I love that. I love that you create with what is around you, and that you're a local artist, you're a local business owner, and that you support the community in its ability to create music and to self-express. I know that that's a very important part of our mental health.
Yes.
So as an artist, you must have met quite a few different people and different celebrities, maybe artists that have also been through your shop.
Through the shop, but even through my career in radio, I was a music director at a couple of rock radio stations in Western Canada, Brandon, Lethbridge here. And I was actually able to meet my heroes as a music director. I've got a picture of my wife and I with Joe Cocker. I met Sheryl Crow, just as Tuesday Night Music Club was just being released. I got my picture taken with Honeymoon Suite. I looked like I belong in the band. Ann and Nancy Wilson from Heart, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi. I've met so many, big time real rock stars, and for the most part, all of them are really cool.
Nice.
Are really cool. Yeah, Joe Cocker was just an absolutely beautiful human being.
Oh, that is so
Yeah.
nice to know, because they always say don't meet your heroes, but you've had good experiences.
I've
with
had
yours.
really good experience. I mean, there's been the odd one. I'm not. I've got stories of artists that have not been so nice. So, but probably not for here.
Well, yeah, that's fantastic. And so do people ever come in and they're like, oh, I want a guitar like so-and-so?
Not so much that. I still have. There's a lot of people in Red Deer don't know I'm here. Like daily, I get people coming up. I just saw your sign. I didn't know you were here. I had a guy like that today. I didn't know you were here. I do have people that I build guitars where we customize to things that they're looking for, but not necessarily an exact copy or a replica of these other things. You can see right here, these, you'll probably have to take a shot of them, but they're the Telecasters. I call them the MAV 50s. I was playing in a band, the Memphis Mafia band, and Matt Allen, who's the guitar player in the band, is also a vintage guitar collector. And we took a couple of his favorite Telecasters, including a 1954 Fender Telecaster, an absolutely stunning instrument. And we took all of those elements and we created this model called the MAV 50. So these guitars were built much the same as they were in Fullerton, California in 1954, with just a bandsaw and a router, hand carved necks. And it's become... Luke Doucette from Sarah McLachlan's band is now playing a MAV 50s Telecaster. A couple of other people in Central Alberta are playing them as well. So it's a model that has sort of spoken to people because of the vintage look and feel, but made with modern hardware and that sort of stuff. So I'm really proud of that model of guitar. It's a really great guitar.
Oh, that's interesting. Have there been any Red Deer artists that have gone on to be like famous?
None that have a Gilmore guitar. There are a couple of people, like I did mention Mike Sabo, who came to songwriting rather late in life, but he is starting to be noticed by the Alberta Country Music Association. He has been invited to several of their events. He has started to get some radio airplay around. So there are other artists outside of Red Deer that have Gilmore guitars that have fairly successful careers. A guy by the name of Ryan McMahon, who lives in Ladysmith, BC. He has appeared on television shows with his Gilmore guitar. I can't remember the name of the show, but it was Treat Williams was the main character, and he did a part on this television show where he played his guitar. I had to give my permission to the studio to use the image and my name on the guitar. It was pretty cool. So, there has been, some fairly high level Gilmore guitarage around the country.
Guitarage. Have you ever played in a band?
Lots and lots of bands over the years, yes.
Yeah, you got
Yes.
some good stories you want to share? That your wife wouldn't mind?
You know what? All of my stories have been really positive stories.
Nice.
The first band that actually had any sort of success, I bought a 48 passenger school bus and took all the seats out of it and put a couch in it, and we played bars all over Saskatchewan and Alberta.
That sounds like a
And
fun
it was
ride.
back at a time when clubs were hiring bands to play full 7 nights. You would play like Monday through Saturday. And Sunday was usually a travel day. Unfortunately, those sorts of gigs don't exist anymore. But it was a time that was, if I could have stayed out there, if it hadn't been for, various personalities in each band, people just, people are going to do what they want to do. I'd probably still be out there, but I loved it. And it was nice because as a traveling band like that, you got to meet so many different people in every different town, and people are always so cool. Like they're happy to, you always have somebody, hey, come on over, we'll have a barbecue or, whatever. So it's my whole experience playing music in bands and just in duos has been nothing but positive.
That is excellent. So exciting. What was your journey like?
Well, I had a guitar in my hand from the time probably before I could walk. My mom had a guitar, and I used to kind of play it like it was a bass guitar because it was so big. And I had a guitar in my hand, I still do. Well, the rest of the family was, playing cards on a Saturday night. I was sitting on the couch and I was playing my guitar. I probably drove them crazy because I played my guitar a lot. And for the amount of time I spent playing my guitar, I should probably be way better at it. But I'm essentially self-taught. I took, I think, maybe 3 or 4 guitar lessons when I was a kid. I learned how to tune it, and then I took everything from there. So I was fortunate that I had a pretty good ear. I could listen to songs on the radio or the stereo and learn how to play them. So that was sort of my development, just learning to songs, and that's how I sort of developed my style, just learning to play other people's songs.
Nice. Have you ever written anything of your own?
I compose quite a bit, actually. I can't write a lyric to save my life, but there's probably 80 or 100 songs that are just snippets of music that I've recorded. I'm fortunate because I have a guitar in my hand all the time, all day. So when I'm setting up a guitar and I tune it up and I play it, sometimes something will just fall out, and I'll go, oh, that's pretty cool. I can run down to my studio, turn it on, and I can record it while it's still fresh in my mind. So I'm really fortunate that way. There's nothing spectacular, but it's at least it's something that I have done.
Would you be able to give us a little demo?
I don't know. What do you think? I don't even know if this guitar's in tune. And that's just noodling. That's just not really a song. That's just sitting down, picking up a guitar, and just talking to the wind.
That's cool. Wow, I just always marvel at just the business sense of some people. Like sometimes it's really challenging, especially in our community, to keep a business that is artistic based going. Do you have? Can you share some of your challenges, maybe? And
Nobody's ever accused me of being smart.
okay.
Like I said, we started Gilmore Guitars, my wife and I, with no plan B. So, you know, if I'm not building guitars at this point, I'm a Walmart greeter. Because, I got into radio right out of high school. I don't have any degrees. And in this day and age, you need a degree to get a great job. So I'm growing some funk of my own. I'm just, I'm fortunate because I don't have somebody telling me that I have to retire. I can do this job until the end, until my hands don't work or until I can't see. Like this job, it's not, I mean, I'm doing this till the end.
And it's almost not really a job. It's like your life, your hobby,
Well, it's more than a hobby. I mean, Gilmore Guitars needs to make money. It has monthly bills. We have mortgages. We have lines of credit. I have materials to purchase. I have lights that I have to turn on. So it's not like it's just fun and games. It is a business, and there are some times where we don't know if we're gonna make it to the next month. But knock on wood, we soldier on, and I think 15 years as a small business like this is a success.
Definitely.
So.
Definitely. And I just keep thinking of, whenever I'm down at Ross Street Patio and I see, different people, Peyton, what's his name?
Peyton Cameron, yeah.
I see him playing,
he's got a couple of Gilmore instruments.
Yeah, I've seen him with his Gilmore, and I was like, wow, that's so cool to see full circle, the productivity that could happen in a community when people are buying local and they're, practicing, ways of being involved in the community. And I just think that's really marvelous. So I really appreciate the fact that you stuck around. And
not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. And I one of these days I will be picking up my own Gilmore guitar and learning how to play it, because I've always wanted to do that, and I feel like it's really good for mental health. You get creative, you can pump out your own tunes.
Yeah, it really is good for mental health because you can just shut the propeller off when you pick up a guitar, which is really, really nice. And like I said, it's also another language. And nowadays, there's so many resources to learn how to play a guitar. Nothing like that existed when I was learning how to play the guitar. I started learning to play the guitar when I was 8 or 9 years old. For real. I mean, I had a guitar. I used to play it like a stand-up bass because I was so small. So I literally had a guitar in my hand, before I could walk. And I took a couple of lessons when I was 8 or 9 years old, basically learned how to tune the guitar. But since then, I'm completely self-taught. I've used my ear and just, intestinal fortitude to learn how to play the guitar. I had to learn how to play Stairway to Heaven off of an 8-track.
Oh, an 8-track. I don't think half of my viewers will know what that is, but that's okay.
Some of your viewers might know what Stairway to Heaven is.
Stairway to Heaven, what's that? Oh dear, oh dear. Do you have any music that you've written on your own?
I noodle a lot. There's some pieces that I've recorded, nothing that I could probably remember off the top of my head, but when I usually pick up a guitar, I just kind of find a mood or whatever, a chord, and then just noodle with it. I never really don't think. I just noodle. There's never a beginning, a middle, or an end. There's just. But when you're doing that, you're not thinking about anything else, right?
And where did this term noodling come from?
I don't know. It's just pick up a guitar and you noodle. And songs come out of noodling.
That's true, right?
Yeah.
Very impressive. That's so cool. So I really appreciate the fact that you're in our city.
Well, thank you very much. I love Red Deer. I mean, I knew the day that I drove into Red Deer for my interview at the radio station. I remember driving down 55th Street and saying to myself out loud in the car, "This is home," and it's been home. You know, I have no intention of moving anywhere. So.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today and for sharing your practice and for being a part of our community.
Well, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.